Now let's take a look at the Namibian business case for Sigfox. And the question we're trying to answer in this presentation is how will IoT, and in this case, how will Sigfox add value to your business? Now we believe there's three major ways that IoT plays an impact. And the first is revenue growth. The next, improving on your operating margins. And thirdly, improving on the asset efficiency for your business. With revenue growth, we believe you can acquire new customers, and this is by offering a new service. By integrating IoT into your product offerings or into your operations, you may it might give you the ability to penetrate new markets and also help you outshine your competitors. Another way is to retain your current customers by offering new services to pre-existing customers who already have trusted you for solutions or some technology provision. In this case, a good example is of fleet management companies who not only then track vehicles, but upgrade their service offering to actually tracking non-powered assets using Sigfox trackers, battery-powered trackers. We can also leverage our income-generating assets by actually using them to generate further revenue streams, such as water meters are no longer just recording water usage, but also can be used as leak detectors by adding an IoT sensor on them. With respect to operating margins, the first step to reducing our operational costs is to improve on our logistics and service provision. Just by being able to monitor our assets more effectively and streamlining our activities, we could waste less time. This means less insurance costs and less warehousing costs. Also, by remote monitoring of devices, we then reduce the need to actually physically drive out or visit these assets to monitor them. This helps us reduce our transport costs, our employee costs. And this actually helps ultimately in reducing our operating costs and positively impacting our operating margin. With respect to asset efficiency, by reducing losses from unbilled services, we're able to make sure that every service that is given is adequately billed. An example is water meters. Faulty water meters will no longer continue to issue a service of water without being billed. And I think this is great in terms of reducing our losses for unpaid services. Also, if your assets are in the field and they're down for prolonged periods of time, that period of time is actually a point is time lost, which is money that could have been made from that asset. So by being able to continuously monitor our assets and getting regular checkups on these assets, we're able then to reduce the period of time in which the asset is down, effectively reducing the amount of money lost from interruption of service. We also could prevent losses from misuse and vandalism of our assets by putting in trackers, monitors to ensure that the assets are where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be, and if they're being used appropriately. So with all this, we have to maintain that the network is a low-cost, long-range network. The battery life is extremely long, and our cloud services are very secure. Now, these pillars help us to provide a cost-effective solution which supports and helps your business in value, as described before. Now, in terms of the value chain, a good question is where can revenue be made in this value chain? If you remember our technology presentation, you know that the data moves from objects to the base stations, from the base stations to the cloud on the internet, and then to our customer platforms. Revenue can be made from the device sales and installation of devices, from connectivity, which is the responsibility of the network operator, and from platform subscriptions and other support services. And this is usually the role of the service provider. Now, in terms of how this pie is split, we believe the network operator takes the smallest chunk, as the responsibility of the network operator is to maintain and to deploy and maintain the network. The channel partners, which we encourage many businesses to explore in Namibia, are responsible for then packaging the solutions. They are responsible for finding the device, the correct device, the appropriate connectivity plan, and also the appropriate platform for their customers. And in each of those steps, each of those components is a source of revenue for these businesses. The service and solution providers, they're responsible then for deploying the solution, and they deploy it not as the technology, but as a solution and a service. So for example, they deploy it as a security system, as a security service, and they're not really interested in deploying in what device or what technology or what, as long as they can offer a secure security service. And with this, they have the ability to generate quite a significant piece of the pie as service fees. Now, the future of Namibia is in our hands, and it's actually, we believe it's a discussion that should be had amongst all the members of the ecosystem. And ultimately, the question when asking about Sigfox Namibia is, will you have a slice of the pie?